What's up everyone, I'm Steven from The Emotion Machine and this video is called Create Your Own Personal Philosophy. But first, here's a puppy! So here's the deal. I think philosophy is extremely important and I think that everyone needs to have their own personal philosophy. Philosophy, or having a philosophy, is basically just a set of beliefs and assumptions about how the world works and the best way to live your life. It's often thinking about the deep questions such as what is reality, what is knowledge, how can I gain knowledge, what does it mean to live a moral life, and how should I treat others, and of course, how can I be happy and actually enjoy life. I believe that everyone should at least be somewhat interested in philosophy, and I even think that philosophy should probably be a course in middle school or high school or even before then. The truth is, there are a lot of questions in the world that can't be answered strictly through science. Even science itself relies on a certain set of beliefs and a certain set of assumptions, and the philosophy of science has evolved over the centuries and will continue to evolve. So even if you're interested in science or a scientist, you also have to be interested in philosophy as well. So how do you create your own personal philosophy? I believe that the first thing you need to do is expose yourself to many different philosophies. Try to avoid identifying yourself with just one school of thought, and try to recognize that every philosophy can offer a new perspective and offer a new bit of information or wisdom that can help you improve your understanding of the world. So try to expose yourself to many different schools of thought and realize that good ideas can be found in all philosophies. Try to borrow from everyone, compare the similarities and differences of each philosophy, and find what works for you personally. When I think about my personal philosophy, I realize that it's influenced by many different schools of thought, including Buddhism, Stoicism, existentialism, humanism, some libertarianism, some objectivism, some pragmatism. I find that the philosophy a person needs often depends on their personality. For example, I was always someone who wasn't very assertive or confident in school, so when I discovered objectivism and the focus on self-esteem and doing things for yourself and not always caring about what people think, that was very helpful for me. But for someone that maybe is very confident or even narcissistic, reading a philosophy like that may reinforce their prejudices and not help them grow as a person. So this is another reason why you should try to seek out multiple schools of thought, because you never know where a good idea is going to come from, and you never know what kind of philosophy you need to hear. You don't want to just read philosophy that's going to reinforce your beliefs. You always want to check out different schools of thought that are going to challenge your beliefs and force you to expand your belief system. In addition to exposing yourself to multiple schools of thought, another thing you should do when creating your own personal philosophy is to participate in healthy discussions and debates, to have conversations with your friends, your family, your teachers, or just any random people you meet. Because even if you're speaking to someone who maybe isn't that interested in philosophy or doesn't really know much about academic philosophy, they're going to have their own beliefs, they're going to have their own assumptions about the world, and by talking to them, you might learn something new, you might learn something that you can add to your own perspective. In a way, everyone has to have a personal philosophy, whether they want to or not, because everyone's life is guided by some set of beliefs or underlying assumptions about the world, how it works, and how to live life a certain way. So having a personal philosophy is actually unavoidable, but that's all the more reason why you should pay attention to your personal philosophy and your beliefs and be willing to constantly improve it and build on it. Someone who is open-minded and a critical thinker often realizes that having a healthy and polite conversation with someone who believes in the exact opposite of you can oftentimes be the most effective way to build your own philosophy and sharpen your beliefs. Another thing you absolutely must do if you want to create your own personal philosophy is to make time for introspection. When you're introspecting, it's a combination of thinking about things you've learned in philosophy and science and from your own personal experiences, and then transforming that into a belief system that worked for you. Because at the end of the day, you need to create your own belief system, and that belief system can borrow from many other belief systems and can be influenced by many other belief systems, but it's up to you to choose what you like and what you don't like, and to add your own original thinking into the mix. Having your own personal philosophy is ultimately about just taking the time to sit down and think. That's all that it is. But not many people really can do that. A lot of people have trouble just sitting and thinking. They need to look at their phone or turn on the TV or listen to music or just take a nap. Not many people can just sit down, stay awake, and just think to themselves. At its core, having your own personal philosophy is really just about asking yourself new questions and looking at things from different perspectives and not pretending you have all the answers, but wanting to learn as much as possible. And if you take that attitude, then it won't really matter what specific philosophies you learn about, you'll always be on the right path. So what is your personal philosophy? Have you even thought about it? Tila has her own personal philosophy. She's a absurdist, nihilist feminist. Actually, I think she just believes in naps.